Good morning. So, as you listen to me read this article today, I want you to think about how the land benefited the people that lived in the Midwest. So, how did the Midwest's climate and geography affect early peoples? Mound builders of the Midwest. Between 200 BC and AD 400, Native Americans living in the Midwest built sacred centers near their towns. These centers were large mounds of earth covering wooden frames. The mounds were made in different shapes. Some were cone-shaped and served as temples and burial sites. The Hopewell people, that's a Native American tribe, built mounds in southern Ohio. In addition to being religious centers, these mounds provided protection from their enemies. The tallest Hopewell mounds reached 30 feet. Other early peoples in the Midwest also used mounds. In about AD 400, groups in Minnesota and Wisconsin built smaller mounds. Some of these were built in the shapes of birds, animals, or beings that they believed lived in the underworld. The Mississippian culture lived in Illinois and Missouri starting around AD 700. They built large towns surrounded by smaller villages. Large mounds in the center of town were places for rituals in the homes of the town's leader. The largest Mississippian city, Cahokia, was located near present-day St. Louis, Missouri. The Mississippian culture thrived for hundreds of years but declined by around AD 1600. This may be due to the arrival of European explorers or the using up of natural resources. This image is just showing an illustration of the Cahokia people living in Mississippi. You can see there is access to water, lots of trees. It looks like there's some farmland. They have a wall built around their city, lots of little buildings. Physical features of the Midwest. The Midwest is home to a variety of physical features. The Central Plains and the Great Plains are the two main landforms. The Black Hills are mountains rich with wildlife and forests. The Ozark Plateau is an area of highlands with rugged hills, caves, and underground springs. The Badlands contain deep gullies and colorful mountains with flat tops. Water features of the Midwest include major rivers and the Great Lakes. You can see here on this physical map, we have the Central Plains here, the Ozark Plateau here, here's the Mississippi River, and here are all the Great Lakes, Lake Superior, Lake Michigan, Lake Huron, Lake Erie, and Lake Ontario is over here. Waterways. The rivers and lakes in the Midwest have always been important to people living in the region. During flood season, the Mississippi River and its tributaries drain most of North America. The rushing water deposits rich soil throughout the Mississippi drainage basin, making the land more fertile. The Missouri River and the Ohio River serve as transportation routes for the region. The 5 Great Lakes are Lake Superior, Lake Ontario, Lake Erie, Lake Huron, and Lake Michigan. Together they make up the largest source of fresh water in the world. Most of the lakes serve as borders between the United States and Canada. Forests grow in many areas around the lakes. Early Native Americans lived near water for several reasons. They used waterways to travel by boat from place to place. Rivers and lakes provided fish for food. Fertile soil near rivers was good for growing crops. So I think right now you should start having some ideas of how the land helped people live there. Sounds like they had access to water and a lot of fish for food, a lot of soil that would help them with farming and growing crops. And the waterways also help them travel by boat. In this picture up here, it shows you the shores of the Great Lakes, and these are pictured rocks in the National Lakeshore on Lake Superior in Michigan. Midwestern Plains. The Great Plains covers about 1/3 of the area of the United States. Large herds of buffalo roamed the grassy plains and low hills in this area. The animals provided an important food source for Native Americans living on the plains. The Central Plains run between the Ohio and the Great Lakes, the Ohio River and the Great Lakes. This area receives more rain than the Great Plains. The land is flat or gently rolling. The great river valleys make the land fertile and good for farming. The Badlands in South Dakota feature unusual formations and numerous mammal fossils. So that tells us that mammals lived there a long time ago, mammoths. And then thinking about the Midwestern plains, you had flat rolling land, so that was good for farming, and a lot of animals like buffalo provided a source of food for many Native Americans at that time. Okay, I hope this helps you with your social studies today.